Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, we shall explore a special topic about Christmas. Please show us your support by subscribing to our channel. Christmas is more than a holiday marked on calendars and wrapped in twinkling lights. It is a living, evolving narrative that educates communities, families, and individuals across generations. From a small town in Judea to the globalized, media-saturated world of today, the story and practices of Christmas have carried lessons about faith, culture, ethics, resilience, and belonging. This video explores how Christmas has served as a vehicle for education, religious, social, moral, and cultural, tracing its journey from Bethlehem through centuries of transformation to its contemporary forms. Along the way, we'll celebrate the enthusiastic spirit that keeps this festival both rooted and regenerative, continually teaching new meanings to old traditions. 1. Origins. Bethlehem as the seed of a teaching tradition. The Christmas narrative begins in Bethlehem, where the New Testament situates the birth of Jesus. For early Christians, the Nativity story was less a piece of biography and more an educational parable, a demonstration of humility, divine accessibility, and hope. The scene of a child born in a manger, visited by shepherds and later by Magi, offers immediate pedagogical elements, exemplars of humility and service. The humble setting models a countercultural ethic. Status and wealth are not prerequisites for grace. Communities learned to value compassion and to honor the marginalized. Accessible divinity and moral imagination. The incarnation narrative taught that the divine can enter ordinary life, prompting adherents to look for sacredness in everyday acts. This spurred charitable practices and communal support, education in lived faith rather than abstract doctrine. Story as moral curriculum. The shepherd's awe and the Magi's pilgrimage introduced lessons about humility, curiosity, and the pursuit of truth, virtues emphasized in sermons, catechesis, and communal storytelling. Early Christian communities used the Nativity account to instruct new converts and to reinforce shared moral frameworks. The story of Bethlehem became the first chapter in a long educational curriculum centered on compassion, justice, and community. 2. Medieval and Renaissance transformations. Ritual, drama, and public pedagogy. As Christianity spread through Europe, Christmas evolved from a primarily scriptural commemoration into a broad cultural phenomenon. The medieval and Renaissance periods turned the Nativity into a potent educational tool through public ritual, theatrical reenactments, and visual art. Mystery plays and pageantry. Medieval mystery plays dramatized biblical stories, bringing them into public squares and churches. These performances taught the illiterate masses about scripture, doctrine, and moral lessons through vivid, memorable enactment. The nativity scenes in particular made theological concepts concrete and emotionally resonant. Visual storytelling in art and architecture. Nativity scenes in stained glass, frescoes, and illuminated manuscripts served as visual textbooks. For congregations who could not read, these images taught the narrative sequence of salvation history and embodied virtues to emulate. Liturgical education. The structure of the Christmas liturgy, antiphons, hymns, and readings, functioned as a graduated learning experience, embedding theological truths into the rhythm of worship and life. These public forms of education were communal and inclusive, designed to instruct entire populations in shared values and narratives. Christmas thereby functioned as a kind of civic pedagogy, shaping identity, reinforcing social norms, and cultivating a common moral vocabulary. 3. Reformation, adaptation, and cultural negotiation. The Protestant Reformation and subsequent theological debates introduced new educational dynamics to Christmas. Reformers critiqued certain traditions and ritual excesses while retaining or reinterpreting underlying lessons. Doctrinal re-education. Protestants emphasized scripture and personal faith, altering how Christmas was taught. In some regions, festive customs were downplayed, while the moral and scriptural teachings were accentuated in sermons and family devotions. Folk traditions and syncretism, where official liturgy shifted, local folk customs often persisted. Carol singing, gift giving, and seasonal feasts were sites of negotiation, teaching local histories, social cohesion, and even resistance to top-down religious reform. Education at home. The Reformation's focus on reading scripture led to greater literacy and family-based religious instruction. Christmas became an occasion for devotional reading and moral conversation, strengthening intergenerational transmission of values. In these centuries, Christmas education adapted to contested theological landscapes, demonstrating its resilience as a vehicle for teaching core values even amidst doctrinal shifts. The modern era, industrialization, commercialization, and new educational roles. The 19th and 20th centuries brought dramatic social changes, urbanization, industrialization, mass media, that reshaped Christmas and its pedagogical functions. Victorian reinvention and family values. The 19th century revival of Christmas in Britain and America, influenced by figures like Charles Dickens, reframed the holiday as a season of family, charity, and moral reflection. Dickens' A Christmas Carol became an educational parable on compassion, redemption, and social responsibility, widely read and adapted for public instruction. Public charity and civic education. The rise of philanthropic holiday practices, soup kitchens, drives for the poor, charitable performances, used Christmas as a practical lesson in civic duty and collective responsibility. These activities taught societies to institutionalize empathy. Commercialization and consumer lessons. The growth of gift economies and advertising introduced more ambivalent educational messages. On one hand, the market taught new skills, economic exchange, entrepreneurship, and the logistics of mass culture. On the other, it required counter-education in moderation, anti-materialism, and mindful celebration. Media and mass culture. Radio, film, and television turned Christmas into a mass pedagogical moment. Holiday movies and specials conveyed standard narratives, homecoming, forgiveness, family reunions, that modeled behaviors and emotional responses for millions, shaping norms and expectations across diverse populations. The modern era thus expanded the classroom, the family, the marketplace, and the media all contributed to a complex, multifaceted education in what Christmas should mean and how it should be lived. 5. Globalization and multicultural exchange. Christmas as cross-cultural curriculum. In the contemporary world, Christmas has traveled far beyond its Christian origins and acquired global meanings through colonial history, migration, and cultural exchange. Adaptation and localization. In many cultures, Christmas has been reinterpreted, blending local customs with imported rituals. This process educates communities about cultural flexibility and the creative adaptation of tradition. Interfaith and intercultural learning. In pluralistic societies, Christmas becomes an occasion for intercultural understanding. Schools and workplaces often use the season to teach about diversity, shared values, and respectful observance of multiple traditions. Soft power and cultural diplomacy. Christmas exports, music, films, decorations, function as vectors of cultural education. They teach foreign audiences about certain cultural imaginaries, family unity, generosity, while also inviting critique and localized reinterpretation. Globalization has made Christmas a living curriculum about pluralism, negotiation, and the capacity of traditions to travel and transform. Contemporary pedagogies, ethics, sustainability, and digital learning. Today's educational challenges, ethical consumerism, environmental sustainability, and digital literacy, have shaped how Christmas functions pedagogically. Teaching ethical consumption. Holiday consumerism poses ethical questions. Many families and institutions now use the season to teach restraint, gift ethics, and thoughtful giving, emphasizing experiences, handmade gifts, charitable donations, or responsible purchases. Sustainability and environmental education. Tree choices, wrapping practices, and waste reduction during the holidays are practical lessons in ecology. Christmas thus becomes a timely opportunity to model stewardship and long-term thinking. Digital and media literacy. The proliferation of online holiday content raises questions about authenticity, commercial influence, and media framing. Educators and parents use the season to teach critical viewing, advertising literacy, and mindful social media engagement. Community resilience and mental health. Contemporary pedagogies also focus on mental well-being. The holiday can be a platform for teaching emotional intelligence, grief support, and the importance of inclusive practices that mitigate loneliness and celebrate diverse family structures. By addressing present-day concerns, Christmas remains an adaptable educational moment with real-world ethical applications. 7. Family and informal education. Rituals, memory, and identity formation. Perhaps the most enduring classroom for Christmas is the home. Family rituals, decorating, baking, storytelling, gift exchanges, serve as powerful informal educational contexts for values, memory, and identity. Ritual as repetition and meaning-making. Repeated rituals embed values and create a sense of continuity. They teach children cultural scripts, how to greet, how to celebrate, how to give, forming habits and moral intuitions. Storytelling and memory. Retelling family narratives and religious stories during the holiday educates younger generations in lineage and belonging. These narrative practices shape identity and offer continuity across time. Intergenerational learning. Holiday preparations often involve elders teaching skills, recipes, crafts, songs, to younger family members, passing on embodied knowledge and sustaining cultural capital. In these ways, Christmas education is intimate and formative, operating through affection, practice, and shared memory rather than formal instruction. 8. Schools, churches, and civic institutions. Formal educational roles. Institutions, schools, churches, civic groups, use Christmas strategically to teach civic virtues, historical knowledge, and communal ethics. Curriculum integration. Schools incorporate holiday-themed lessons, music performances, historical modules, and literature, to teach about history, cultural diversity, and artistic expression. Faith communities. Churches use Advent and Christmas observances to guide catechesis, deepen theological understanding, and mobilize social outreach, combining worship with practical education in service. Civic celebrations, municipal lights, public concerts, and charity drives educate citizens about community participation, shared spaces, and democratic engagement. Through formal and semi-formal channels, Christmas becomes part of institutionalized education, reinforcing collective values and civic imagination. IX. Challenges and debates, inclusivity, secularization, and authenticity. The educational journey of Christmas is not without tension. Debates about secularization, inclusivity, and commercial pressure highlight the contest between competing lessons. Secular versus religious instruction. Public life negotiates how to balance religious instruction with secular inclusivity. This debate is itself educational, teaching societies about pluralism, rights, and shared civic spaces. Inclusivity and recognition of diversity. Educating for inclusivity involves recognizing that not everyone celebrates Christmas, and creating practices that respect multiple traditions while maintaining cultural expression. Authenticity and creative continuity. Questions about authentic Christmas practices invite reflection on how traditions should evolve, whether preserving origins or embracing creative reinvention is the higher pedagogical aim. These debates are productive. They force societies to articulate values, negotiate public pedagogy, and model respectful disagreement. The future. Christmas as a living curriculum. Looking forward, the educational role of Christmas will continue to evolve. Climate change, demographic shifts, technological innovation, and shifting religious landscapes will shape new lessons. Climate-conscious celebrations. Teaching future generations sustainability through holiday practices will likely intensify, making environmental ethics central to Christmas education. Digital rituals and global solidarity. Virtual gatherings and global media can teach new forms of solidarity, instantaneous, borderless, and empathetic in fresh ways. Deepening ethical imagination. As global inequities remain stark, Christmas can teach about systemic compassion, moving beyond immediate charity to education on justice, policy, and humane institutions. Interfaith and intercultural pedagogy. With increasing diversity, Christmas will serve as a platform for mutual learning, teaching how to honor difference while cultivating shared humanity. Conclusion. A festival that teaches us how to be human. From the quiet manger in Bethlehem to bustling city centers and online communities, Christmas has been, and remains, an extraordinary educational journey. It teaches humility and hospitality, models compassion and civic care, transmits culture through ritual, negotiates identity in plural societies, and adapts to the ethical demands of each age. Far from being a static nostalgia, Christmas is a living curriculum, one that invites enthusiastic participation, critical reflection, and imaginative reform. Its greatest lesson may be this: traditions endure not by fossilizing but by teaching successive generations how to make them meaningful. In celebrating and reinterpreting Christmas, communities practice the art of moral education itself, learning how to care, how to remember, how to include, and how to hope. From Bethlehem to today, the educational journey of Christmas continues, inviting each of us to become students and teachers of a season that, when embraced thoughtfully, helps us learn not only about the past but about how to better live together in the present and future.